It's just that when you saw that PP flashing on the screen last time, and you're like, "Oh, what is that?"
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't even remember.
I'll show you. Anyway, we're live, and the eyeball thing is up. So Porchcast Pottstown is live. I've got the overlay up, and that's just how we're going to have to be tonight because the camera is still not cooperating. I did everything that I possibly could think to do to get the camera up and running, but it's not.
Well, you tried your best.
I tried my best.
Yes.
Did you get your notification that we're
I
live on here?
did. I just did.
I just see some people starting to come into the show.
One of them is me.
Yes, and then share that right away. And then once you do that, our numbers start like jumping almost immediately. Folks, you're just going to have to listen to us tonight as you're tuning in. I'll make that announcement that I'm still having some problems with the camera. I updated the software, and it's not fixing our problem. We might have a bad cable.
Who knows?
Don't know. But you should be able to hear us just fine. And let us know that you are listening. And you can do that by saying hello. You can hit that like and share button. Remember, Porchcast Pottstown is a participation sport. And
you get points for participating.
You do. You can level up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the more you comment, the more you say things, the more you like, the more you share, you'll become a top fan. You'll become a sharer.
It's everybody's goal to be a Porchcast Pottstown
top fan.
Top fan.
There's anniversary fans. There's like all these levels of different fandom that you can achieve by liking, sharing, and commenting on Porchcast Pottstown. So once again, as people coming in the show, we're just going to have a traditional kind of podcast tonight. Yep. Sorry, the camera software is just not cooperating. I don't think it's the software. I think it's the camera.
Do you think it's a cable
I think it's a cable issue. Okay. I really do. I think we've probably pushed this cable to the lengths of its abilities.
Yeah, it's probably got a short somewhere.
Could be.
All right. Well, let me know if you need me to order a new one.
I think I have another one. It's just too short for what we're doing tonight. But what I'll do is I'll set up everything tomorrow and use the little shorty camera, the shorty cable. And then if that works, then that tells me it's a cable issue. You know what I mean?
Sure. Of course.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Just start doing some diagnostics.
I want to say to people that I posted up this show and I put pie in the thing. And now everybody's excited because they think I'm going to be talking about pie tonight. In some way, shape, or form, I am talking about pie.
I was wondering about that. I was like, well, today's not March 14th, which is Pie Day.
No.
314, 3.14.
Yeah.
In the nerd households. It's a holiday in the nerd households.
Right. No, yeah. I think Andrew Green has a pie shirt that takes pie out to some ridiculous number.
Yeah. It was delightful to see Andrew on Saturday.
Yes.
At the celebration of the arts at the high school.
Yeah.
He's very, very well spoken, very, very good public speaker. Mm-hmm. So he's got that part checked off for his upcoming future political career. But I was really impressed with the speech that he gave and what he said and how he presented himself.
Yeah. Yes, he's a very articulate person. He started reading when he was about 3 years old.
Yep.
And it shows. And my man reads books like voraciously.
Yeah, that's great.
So his vocabulary is quite extensive.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a smart kid. And how was the show?
He's got smart parents. And he's got smart grandparents.
Yes.
So
how was the show?
It was good.
Yeah.
I had never seen High School Musical before.
Okay.
So, it was fun. Yeah, they do a good job. And as always, a lot of energy. I thought the choreography was exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was lots of cast wide singing and dancing numbers. And I thought the choreography was really exceptional.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good. It's always a fun night, and the foundation does a nice job with their little presentation and with kids telling their stories about how things that the foundation does or has done have impacted them. And
Right.
Andrew, of course, talked about that, and it's just a nice night to see what the kids are up to and how the foundation helps them.
Yeah. And all this money that gets donated and then given away, and I can tell you what it did for my family. Andrew Green is graduating a year early from college.
That's a year of college that he doesn't have to pay for.
That's correct.
It's amazing.
Yep.
Right. And how much is a year at Temple?
I don't know.
All in with tuition and room and board and all of that stuff?
I don't know, because Andrew was given the ability through the Pottstown School District to go to the early college program, where he did exceedingly well and was given many, many academic scholarships to Temple.
Excellent.
So he didn't even have to take the SAT when he went to apply to Temple, because he was already a college student.
Sure.
With a college transcript.
It's like irrelevant for them to look at the SAT when he's already got a year of college under his belt.
He's got a transcript. Yeah. Got a transcript. He had 27 credits, college credits, when he graduated from high school.
That's amazing.
So the impact on my family has saved my kid and myself tens of thousands of dollars.
Of course.
And now, listen, we're a solidly middle-class family, right? We have a lot of privilege. But you could imagine if we were a lower income family or a working class family,
right?
A blue collar family, the amount of money that was saved would be just tremendous.
Well, and it also allows kids the opportunity that maybe they didn't think that college was for them, or that they would even have the opportunity.
Right.
So it lets those kids experience it and see that it is for them. It can be for them.
Right.
If that's the right, if that's the right road for them to go down.
And think about this too, like the foundation supports the music program and the musicals. Like there's other schools and school districts around here that don't have a musical every year.
Right.
Pottstown has a musical every year.
Yeah.
Because of the efforts of the Foundation for Pottstown Education.
Yep.
So I think it's important. It's one of the things that we talk about on this show all the time, right? Like there's 4 areas in which I believe society should be putting its efforts, and that's education, infrastructure, the environment, and healthcare.
Right.
So there we go. Education. We just told a couple of examples, a couple of stories about why it's so beneficial to try to support education and these kids. The kids are our future. I want the kid that's going to be building and designing my roads and bridges to have all the advantages that he can, because I don't want my roads and bridges to collapse when I'm driving on them. So you know what I mean? So here's my son, who went to college for political science and designing roads and bridges. We've given him a really good head start.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Why would I want somebody who can't cut the mustard
yeah.
designing my roads and bridges.
And also when we old people, we would like kids that, you know, are well educated to be taking care of us.
Yeah.
You know, in the nursing home or in the hospitals or whatever.
Right.
So
Todd Bainbridge is tuning in.
Todd.
Thanks for tuning in, Todd. Don't forget to hit that like and share button. Todd Bainbridge is our historical liaison to the show here on Porchcast Pottstown. Todd Bainbridge did all of the research. Well, not all. He did a good 80% of the research that we're going to be talking about tonight for our Women's History show.
Okay.
So I'm handling the Women's History tonight. And then hopefully our woman will find something to talk about.
I actually would like to talk about some women-owned businesses in town.
Yeah, do it.
Because there's a lot of them.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even. I just pulled a list of like off the top of my head,
Uh-huh.
and this was, I have to give full credit to Linda Jacobs, made a post about women-owned businesses, and I was like, oh, well, that's like a great topic. So I pulled from her list and added some others. And this is by no means an exhaustive list of women-owned businesses here in Pottstown. These are just the ones that are in the forefront of my mind as places that I frequent or that I know of and would like to support.
Okay.
So there's a lot of them.
Lay it on us, sister.
All right. So here are some women-owned businesses in town that you should go to. So at the top of the list, we've got Grumpy's, which is owned by Jean and Sheila. But certainly Sheila's an integral part of that business and an owner.
She wears the pants in that family.
Pants, yeah. So go check that out if you've not been there. Can't imagine there's anybody watching our show that hasn't been to Grumpy's. Right?
I can't imagine it.
I can't imagine that either.
And they're not going to fess up to it.
Right. Right.
Although maybe, Porchctonians have a tendency to be bold. Maybe somebody would fess up to
and be like, hey, I've never been there. Well, you should go and you should get some roast beef because it's like a sandwich bigger than your head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And most of these are on High Street, just, as visible businesses. Danny B. Funky. Now, there might be some people watching that have not been to Danny B., which is, in Pottstown parlance, at the front of the Old Farmers Market.
Correct.
At High in Charlotte.
Yep.
And she's got really fantastic gifts. She's got a lot of plants, but a lot of really fantastic gifts and gift items. So if you are in need of a gifty item, check that out. I've gotten a lot of things there myself.
So I was surprised one day. I was talking to my son, Adam, who at the time I believe was 17. And I was like, he had come back from being downtown. He told me he was going to go take a walk and he's going downtown. Okay. And he comes back and I'm like, oh, so what'd you do? He's like, oh, I went to Danny B's and I picked up a couple of things. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's a cool place. So like, even teenage boys.
Well, you know what? They have a lot of Star Wars stuff in there.
Do they?
Yeah, I got Harrison a mug in there.
So
there's some Star Wars stuff in there. But there's just some kind of cool. They've got like incense and there's some jewelry and
I think he got a flower pot because he had this aloe plant that he was trying to take care of, and I think he got a flower pot for his aloe plant. But I was just surprised. You know what I mean? Like he comes home and he's like, "Oh yeah, what that?"
Yeah, he didn't go to like Army Navy and get a new pair of boots. He went to Danny B and got like a flower pot. I love that. I think that's great. Yeah, so really cool stuff in there. Now, another place that I have not been to is Gypsy Dreaming Counting Stars, which is down near Cole's Tobacco.
Yeah.
And they've got also gift items. They feature a lot of different local crafters and artisans, and they've got like crystals and jewelry and dream catchers and that kind of like, I would put it in kind of the mystical category.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Like I think I saw William Paul Barogli Esquire buying some like crystals or something down there.
I can imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can picture
on both
that.
fronts, right?
Yeah.
On both fronts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can picture that. All right. What's next on my list here? Barrister's Bagels.
Yeah.
Jerry owns that.
Mm-hmm.
Really great bagels. I would put them up against any New York bagel anytime. Fantastic food. One of my favorite places, Blue Zen, our friend Pam Gormish. So I've been going there for yoga twice a week and will occasionally have Pam work on my shoulder. She does an exceptional muscle therapy massage. No joke. So she's great. And Blue Zen is at the corner of Charlotte and South Street, right? Is that South that runs behind the
that's Queen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
South is down by the social
club.
That's
the next one. Queen.
Okay.
It goes Queen High, Queen South.
Got it. Okay. So Blue Zen is at the corner of Charlotte and Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I make a recommendation to people that if you're listening, if you own one of these businesses and you have a Facebook page, you can change your Facebook URL to the name of your business or something else that's not just a series of numbers. You can change your Facebook URL.
Oh, okay. So it would be Facebook / Wolf Baldwin.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I keep posting these things up there, and it's like it's just whatever random thing that Facebook assigned you. You can change that, people.
Right.
If you own the business page, you can create your own URL. You just go into settings and change it. It's that
change
easy.
it from the random number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you own a business and want your Facebook page to have more exposure and easier to find, get rid of that gobbledygook.
I'm curious to know what my own.
Yeah, you're gonna go check Wolf Baldwin.
Yeah, it's Wolf Baldwin Law Firm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
Levi
so
must
much
have been,
easier
Levi
to
must have been
find.
on that as soon as we.
Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 / upside down smiley face, right?
Right.
Just change it to your business name.
Right.
Yeah.
So Stephanie Horn, thank you for tuning in. Blue Zen, she might not have like public classes listed on her page. It's a really small studio. So the classes are, I don't want to say private, they're quasi-private. So message her if you're interested, and Pam will talk to you about what she's got available, where she's got availability. And I will talk about some other places that have yoga when I get further down on my list.
Don't forget, Amy, too, that if you want to see our conversation with Pam, you can go back and look at the old episodes. And we interviewed Pam Gormish.
That one might not be on YouTube. That might have been before we were on YouTube.
I think it was on YouTube.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. We were still wearing masks. It was 2021.
And we talked about vulva massage.
We did?
Yeah. How could I forget that, Amy?
How could you forget that? Yes. All
that's
right.
That's totally women related.
So,
only women have those things.
Yes.
Just women. I know somebody is going to correct me, but I'm not there yet.
Right.
I'm not that woke.
No, you're not. All right. So Art Fusion is not technically owned by women, but it is certainly run by women, by Julie and Kristen. And it is, everybody that watches the show knows, one of my very favorite places in Pottstown. I've taken 1 million classes there, and it is an absolute treasure in our town. They do a lot of work with the underserved kids. So they offer scholarships and free classes, and discounted classes. They have classes for homeschool kids, art classes, adults, kids, teens, every medium, drawing, painting, clay, fabric. It's just an exceptional place.
What I've been seeing lately, which surprises me, is that they've been having some trouble filling some of their classes. So if you ever thought about taking a class at Art Fusion and just didn't get around to it,
right,
you might want to start checking in.
Yeah, and I do. When I see that they need, like, we need 2 more students to run, or we need 3 more students to run, I'll share it on my page to help get the word out. And it is, everybody's tired and exhausted, but I'm telling you, it's a really nice, relaxing way, like to just kind of unwind and do something fun for yourself. And the classes I find them to be relaxing.
Right. You're not trying to get your 1 rep bench backs up.
Right.
You're just going to take an art class.
Going to take an art class.
Yeah.
I found the mosaic class particularly relaxing, cathartic.
Yeah.
So check it out. And it's just a really neat place. And Kristen and Julie do a great job running it.
So not necessarily woman owned, but woman run.
Women run. Yeah. Because it's a nonprofit. So I don't think it's really owned.
I'll take that.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's not. They have a board of directors and an executive director and blah, blah, blah.
Once Upon a Time Consignment Boutique, which is on High Street in the 200 block, I guess that is. And she's got a lot of beautiful things in there.
Yeah.
Gina does a really nice job.
Minority woman
owned. Yep.
You want to hit a double whammy.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, she's great. She's really sweet. She's got a really good eye.
Now she's hip to the game. She changed hers is facebook.com backsplash. Once Upon a Time Pottstown.
There you go.
See, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
People, change your business profiles.
Right. A business that has been on High Street for a long time, and they recently moved to a new location next to Steel River, is Agnes Edmonds Bridal and Formals. It's been there for a long time. So they've got formal wear, they've got bridal gowns, bridesmaids dresses, formal dresses, mother of the bride, all sorts of stuff. And they are in their beautiful new space right next to Steel River, which also is a nonprofit and is mostly run by women as well. our friends Lena and Velva and everyone else that works over there at Steel River. So I'll throw a shout out for them.
Right.
Beverly's Pastry Shop, our friend Kristen, who we also interviewed a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So Beverly's Pastry Shop has been in Pottstown for a long time, right? Like since you were a kid, Matt, for sure.
Yeah, but it's it wasn't Kristen that ran it.
Right. Now
She
Kristen
bought,
has owned it for 6-7 years, however long she's owned
longer than that.
Yeah.
She bought that place back. I judge everything by how long I've been out of law enforcement.
it. Okay, gotcha.
So I've been out of being a cop for 8 years.
And it was when you were walking the beat.
She owned it then.
Okay.
So
So it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So check out Beverly's. Another dessert place is La's Desserts, the muffin you can eat with a fork. And La is what's her name? Linda. I think it's Linda is her name.
I think she's a Hispanic person too. I think she's a minority.
She is too.
A minority women owned.
She's either black or Hispanic. So minority women.
Well, she could
owned.
be a black Hispanic.
Could be.
That's like a triple whammy of minority.
Whammy, right. So she is located inside the farmers market. She has, if you are a gluten-free person, she has a lot of gluten-free options available. So check that out. Another place that we interviewed, Lady Liberty's Salon and Spa.
Yes.
And they are right
her
there.
Her last name is Palumbo. What's her first name?
Josephine.
There you go.
Yes. And they are located in I guess that's also the 200 block.
Yeah, they're right like in the same stretch where like Kohl's and Delia and Dean's and all that stuff is.
Yep.
It used to be the Jackson Hewitt office.
Right.
That's what it used to be in
Right.
Pottstown parlance.
Yes.
Down to where China Pen used to be.
Which was Wolf's China and Glass.
Before that.
Okay. Which is the Moshine building.
Oh, all right.
The Moshine building is 207, which is where Jack's parents' store was.
Okay. So the address at Liberty is like 210 or 212.
It would be an odd.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. 211, something like that.
Yep. So
I've been putting links up for as much of this stuff as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
So people can go into the show later on and click on the links. People should also go over to YouTube and subscribe to YouTube. It's free. And the YouTube channel is just much easier if you want to go back and listen to a past episode. Or let's just say your dinner is ready and you can't finish the rest of the show. Just go over to YouTube once dinner's over and then you can listen to the rest of the show.
Yep. Where am I on my list here? So you had mentioned Delia and Dean, which is owned by Ron and Dina. So owned by a couple, but also a woman.
Sure.
Delia and Dean, right there.
Another minority-owned business.
A new place that opened up right in our hood, Matt, in the Nohano, is Laurel and Lace Floral Design. Amy and I stopped in a couple weeks ago when we were passing by.
Where are they?
They are, so it used to be an insurance office. It's right next to Ray's place, right next to Jean's Lingerie.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Right.
So whatever that address is.
It was where it's right on the corner of King and Hanover.
Correct. On the southwest corner of King and Hanover.
That's correct.
Yep.
It's across the street from the Mercury.
Correct.
Mercury.
Yep.
I said that right. Mercury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100.
Right next to Jean's, another women-owned
yes.
business that's been there forever and a day.
Listen, if you need your
no joke
tatas supported better,
seriously,
Jean's your lady.
Every woman should go in there at least once just for the experience of having Jean feel you up for a bra.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah,
I have multiple ladies in my life have gone to Jean and could not be happier with the support that they have received.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I don't
no
think
joke,
Jean's
folks.
on Facebook though.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So Laurel and Lace Floral Design is new to the neighborhood and doing a really great job. She's got beautiful floral arrangements. So check that out and support her business. We're very, very happy to have her here in our neighborhood. 3 Daughters. Our friend Tracy Purdy, 3 Daughters Bed and Breakfast down there on East High Street.
I saw Tracy like 3 times in a row. I saw her at the Beacon of Hope fundraiser thing. Yes, I did go to that.
Oh, you did? Okay. Okay.
I wanted to see what they were talking about.
Sure.
And I got an invite from a person who I respect a whole hell of a lot. And so I went. And so I saw Tracy there. And then like the next day I saw her at something else. And then the next day I saw her at Home Depot.
And then the next day she filed a stalking report.
Right. Then she's like, Macri, leave me alone. I'm not a stalker, people.
No, just happenstance. So a place that I am embarrassed to say that I haven't been to in a long time, but Honey's Homebrew Cafe, which is up on Charlotte Street in the old Brian's Cafe.
I wish they would like open it up more or like put a better sign up or something. You forget that it's there.
Yep.
Now, my problem is that's not really my thing. Like, I'm not into sticky buns and baked goods.
You're not a coffee drinker.
I don't drink coffee, really. Yeah. So it's not a place that I go to either. Yeah. I support
They also do
them.
catering, so people should know that.
Yeah.
They do the catering for Rivet. Like, if you have a private event at Rivet, so they can do the catering for that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm with you. I haven't been there. When we were doing this during the pandemic, Nancy Glenecki went there and got some sticky buns and dropped them off at my house to show her appreciation for Porchcast Pottstown.
Oh, that's very nice.
And I will say that I'm not a sticky bun guy.
Yeah.
But they were delicious.
They were ridiculously delicious.
They were really
I know
good.
their food is ridiculously delicious. I used to go and get avocado toast there. I'd go to yoga and then I'd go there and get a nice coffee and a avocado toast. Delicious. Yeah. Okay. So a business that you can't really patronize, but is a big woman-owned business in town. And Matt, I know that you've done work with them, but Cedarville Engineering, April Barchese, who has been recognized. She was recognized, I think, as like the Pennsylvania Small Business. Hold on, I'm going to look it up.
Okay. So April, I met April doing some stuff through the Tri-County Chamber of Commerce. Her and I were in a networking group that ultimately became a CEO kind of roundtable thing. Okay. And that's how I met April and started talking to her. And what I noticed was what attracted me to April was every time she talked, I found myself listening. You know what I mean? Like intently to what she had to say. And the things that she said made sense to me. Like she's a very smart and reasonable person.
She's an engineer. Yeah.
And it made me want to get to know her more. And I'm glad that I did. She's a very lovely person. Yep. She helped Mike Murphy over at Edgewood Cemetery mapping the veterans' graves. Yeah. So thank you to Cedarville Engineering.
Yeah. So she was named in 2022. She was named the Pennsylvania Woman-Owned Small Business of the Year.
That's an achievement.
In all of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, for the whole state.
It's a pretty big deal. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that live in Pennsylvania.
Yes, there's a lot of businesses in Pennsylvania.
So here's the other thing. April moved into Pottstown from North Coventry because she is a woman-owned business inside what's called a hub zone.
Right.
There's designations that are put out by the federal government. And if you are a minority or woman-owned business within a hub zone, you get preference for bidding on government contracts.
Right.
Now, since she's a civil engineer, you could see why that would be important.
Right. Yeah.
But she's here because of the opportunities that are afforded to people who decide to open up businesses in Pottstown.
So moved from the 5
Correct.
to the 4.
Correct.
Just like Scott Bentley moved his business from the 5 into the 4.
And not just into the 4, like where you see the pin that says Pottstown, it's underneath where she is.
Right. Right. And Scott's business is right across the street. Yeah. Right. So
who are we talking about? We're talking about April Barchese at Cedarville Engineering. It's Women's History Month, Ray Amori. So we're doing a little expose.
Who made a mad face?
On some women's history here in Pottstown.
Somebody just made a mad face. Who did
it might have been an accident.
Okay.
I don't care. They could make 100 mad faces.
It helps our analytics, right?
It helps the analytics no matter what. In fact, it probably helps the analytics better if you're negative.
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things that they're saying about all of this Facebook and social media stuff. These negative and controversial posts get more traction than the good stuff. Think about it.
Okay.
Go on Ion Pottstown or one of these other places, and I'm not picking on Ion Pottstown. They're partners with us.
Yes.
But look at which posts get the most comments and likes
of the
and
negative
shares.
ones,
The negative stuff.
or the controversial ones. Yeah.
So if you really want to help Porchcast Pottstown, hit that frowny face a whole lot.
All right. So here is a business that is not owned by women, but it is pretty much run by women, and that is the Pottstown campus of the Montgomery County Community College.
Okay.
A lot of strong women over there.
All right.
The
I'll take it.
President of that campus is a woman. Amy Auer, who we work very closely with. She's on our Go Forth board. And she works over there. There's just a lot of really strong women that run that campus.
Yeah.
With no disrespect to the men that work over there, of
MC3.
course, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of them.
I really think that we got to get over this idea that just because we're giving women credit one month that somehow has to offend men or is putting men down someplace. If you are a man and you feel that way, maybe you need to go check yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you are feeling a little insecure for some reason.
Well, it's kind of I don't want to say it's the equivalent of Black Lives Matter, but it's
the
like
same. It's
the same thing. It's like men don't need to be highlighted. They've been highlighted for the last 350 years in this country.
Fair enough. I'm willing to accept that.
Right.
I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah.
I like I said, I think I've said this before. I definitely saw how women got treated differently when I was a cop.
Yeah.
You would go on a call with a female officer, or let's just say the female officer was on scene first.
Right.
The people on that scene, and I'm women too. Women acted this way too, but they would definitely treat the female officer much differently than when I arrived.
Than when the big 6'4" black guy arrives.
When I showed up, everybody's mouth got quiet all of a sudden. But they give that female cop a raft of shit.
It's infuriating. Sometimes,
and some of the female cops I worked with, they kick your ass.
Sure. So I've had that happen in business where Levi will get a different answer than I will.
Right.
And that's infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah. At my previous job, people used to ask to speak to the guy whose name was on the sign.
Yeah.
And he would get on before he would get on the phone with somebody who was, calling to complain about something. He would ask me or my coworker, all right, what did you guys, what did you tell this guy?
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that I back you up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the exact same thing.
Yeah, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to say, well, I think that I'm going to say exactly what Amy said, and this is the deal.
Yeah.
So he always had our back.
Good.
Be like, you can't go and ask, you didn't like the answer you got from mom, so you're going to go try to ask dad. That's not how it works.
The other part of it too is that I always learned something interesting during Women's History Month. Somebody will do an expose or they'll do some kind of history lesson or something like that. I always learn something new.
You know who posts
what's wrong with learning
really
something
interesting
new?
Articles about historical women figures?
Who?
Is Diane Cherry Crum.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
always
she does.
posting interesting little biographies of women in history.
Right.
So shout out to Diane if you're watching. Okay. 2 places that I've not been to, but they are relatively new in town, and I hope to check them out. Second Nest Spa, which is across from Rite Aid's.
That's where Evans Houseman used to be.
We're going to talk in parlance, Pottstown parlance.
That's the corner of Evans and High.
Yes.
Catty corner from Rite Aid.
Somebody mentioned up a little further up the thread about yoga.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
What's the name of that place again?
Second Nest.
Yep, I found it.
Yeah. So anyway, I can't find it because it was Lisa Horn who was saying about yoga. So I did see that Second Nest has yoga tonight. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure how many other yoga classes they have, but check it out. And they also have massage and other spa services. So I'm eager to check them out over there. New business. Opened within the last year. And then also opened within the last year is Pottstown Medical Massage, which is, I think, in the 500 block. It's like almost across from the Historical Society. So Pottstown Medical Massage is another place that I'm eager to check out. And they have all sorts of medical massage, therapeutic massage, nice, easy massage, hot stone, and other kind of wellness services.
Is that on the same side that Little Italy is on?
No, it's on the north side of High Street.
Side.
It's on the north side of High Street. It's kind of near where Terry's place is.
Oh, is it in the building where the eye doctor used to be?
There's a brick. It's brick, and there's like 2 units.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So eager to check her out. You'll notice her little Pottstown flag flying out front.
Somebody stole Jeanette's Pottstown flag.
Man.
Somebody stole the whole thing.
Her garden flag?
Yeah, we went and picked her up the other day
Aww.
to take her out to dinner, and her flag was missing.
Dang it. Somebody
Knock
loved it so much.
People.
They love Pottstown so much they had to steal a flag.
I guess that's if you wanted to really try to put a positive spin on it, I guess that's the way you're going, right?
Yeah. So anyway, this is by no means an exhaustive, complete list of women-owned businesses in Pottstown. There's lots of others. Those were just kind of like off the top of my head.
I'm going to try to find a picture of the Pottstown flag.
I was just going to put it.
Were you going to put it up?
I was just going to put a.
I can put it on. I can actually put it up on the screen. What you call that flag? Pottstown.
It's just Pottstown heart flag.
Oh yeah. Let's see if I can Google this up.
Here, I'm just gonna put the link.
Heart flag works.
I'm just gonna put the link right in here, Matt, if somebody wants to buy one.
Save image as. There it is. I'm gonna get super duper fancy here, and then I'm gonna put it up because Ray Amori's asking about it.
I just put the link up to the and it shows the picture of my front porch actually.
I'm going to add this.
Oh, Elizabeth Harper. I didn't know that Honey's has wings.
There you go. Look at that.
That is good to know.
That's the Pottstown. That's what the Pottstown flag looks like. That's the design.
It's got a blue background. And then on the garden flag, it's got like a blue background with stars on it. But they've got the Pottstown heart, which is also my tattoo.
So you are doing it because I don't have any Pottstown tattoos. And as much as I love my town, I ain't get one.
Yeah, I was like, screw it.
No, I love it, but not that much.
Yep.
I still have some issues that I got to resolve.
I just love the kind of old time tattoo look of it.
Yeah.
It's like the old mom tattoo. Yeah, so dig it.
Ray, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get the camera work. I thought what I did today fixed it, but it didn't. And I have some work to do.
Yeah.
In between selling houses and picking up trash.
You'll fix the camera.
Yeah, it's my life lately has just been nonstop. I started waking up. I woke up early today and I went to the gym.
Oh,
that's not a Matt Green thing to do. Wake up early, but I did it.
Yeah.
I put up onto the screen for those that are watching the screen, Go Forth celebration, 4th of July. That's PottsTownGoForth.com. That is a women-run organization.
It sure is.
2 women run that thing. And I guess
we're going to be hitting it hard pretty soon.
Are you?
So, yeah, well, we just, started our fundraising for this year's festival. We put out our new logo. We got like a 70s vibe happening.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I did see that.
Check it out.
I could find that too and put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
What I'm really doing is struggling to get
your notes for your little history lesson.
Yeah, because everybody's waiting for us to
talk
about. All right.
Well, I gabbed so long about businesses that it's quarter of already.
I think that was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Can you grab that paper that I'm sliding through the window? That's got an announcement that we need to make when it comes time for that. So first, let me see if I can find a new logo for Pottstown Go Forth. I bet you I can, because you posted it.
Yeah,
right?
Amy posted it up. So there's two. We've got like two different logos. There's one that's like keep on trucking.
The keep on trucking guy.
And there's one that is like it's kind of a kind of an old school looking. It's got like a P. It's got like a rainbow. So one of them is our cover photo, and one of them is our profile photo.
PottstownGoForth.com. I'm going to go there.
Oh no, go to the Facebook page. I don't think it's been updated on the website yet.
All right, Pottstown.
Yeah.
This is so easy. Go.
So easy, Matt.
Forth. Oh my God! Look what came up. And then I'll put a link into the I'll put in a link into the comments, and then I'll also put that up onto the screen so that everybody can see what it is that I'm talking about and what Amy's talking about. Here's the new logo. I'm going to save. Oh.
Dig.
No, I want this. I want that.
Yeah.
There it is.
Awesome.
All right. Save image as.
You fancy
save that.
over there.
I know. You see me? You see me.
You're like cranking away.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is like, I'm getting better at this. It's actually easier for me when people aren't watching me.
Well, yeah, because you don't have to feel like you need to be looking at the camera and whatnot.
There it is.
So yeah.
There's the new logo.
Yeah. So we're gonna be getting some cool merch. Very excited about that.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's talk about some more women history for Pottstown. And this will answer everybody's questions about why I had pie written all over the place in the things. Well, because at one point in time, and I guess still to a certain extent, one of the largest, well-known pie companies in the world. Could I say world?
Sure. Nobody's
Why not?
Check us.
One of the best known pie companies in the world was located right here and founded right here in Pottstown, and that would be Mrs. Smith's Pies. And this is what I found out about Mrs. Smith's Pies with the help of Todd Bainbridge from Pottstown Area
History Collective.
There you go. I'll put a link up to that. The company was founded by Amanda Smith, a homemaker from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And it said that she was very meticulous about her pies and refused to use any kind of artificial ingredients or any kind of additives. So everything was all natural and made with care. And she was very, very persistent and diligent about this. To the fact that
you have to be when you have a business like that. You have to have consistent.
This was before the business even started, Amy.
Oh, when she was just making pies.
Just making pies
for her family.
Just making pies for the family.
Right.
She was all about quality.
Yep.
So her son loved these pies, and she started selling the pies in order to raise funds for the Pottstown YMCA. Right? It was a fundraiser.
It started out as a fundraising effort.
Correct. And everybody loved her pie so much that her son, who was about 17 at the time, said, we can make a business out of this. So he was an enterprising young lad.
Yes.
And
is that Robert?
Yes, Robert Smith. So this was back around 1918. So we're going back a little ways.
Yeah.
Robert Smith, the youngest of Mrs. Smith's three sons, was the man of the family. He was an especially industrious lad. Robert received a worthy boy membership in Pottstown's YMCA. That meant that his parents probably couldn't afford to.
Gotcha.
And eagerly participated in that organization's activities. At some point in time, he became the runner or ran the YMCA lunch counter. And at that point in time, he persuaded his mother to increase her pie production enough to furnish pies for him to sell. So she started boosting her output at her house.
So that he could sell them at the lunch counter.
Correct.
Got it.
And everybody loved the pies. Soon, Robert was featuring an attractive and appetizing variety of fruit pies and Pennsylvania Dutch specialties. His lunch attracted a lot of business, and the profits began to grow. Mrs. Smith's Pies became the attention of a lunch counter business, and also caught the attention of another local stand operator, George Lapis, who ran a lunch counter and sold Texas Wiener was his famous hot dog. So then there's this.
Is that the Texas Tommy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
What was his name?
It says his name was George Lapis, Lappas, and he owned a hot dog stand or a lunch counter, and he had a Texas Wiener hot dog that was for sale at his place. And between that's what gave Robert the encouragement to go and try to take this enterprise on the road. So he was kind of inspired by this local guy who was selling these hot dogs. And Robert fitted the rumble seat of his Dodge Coupe with a specially built pie cabinet and his improvised delivery truck to set out to sell pies to other Pottstown restaurants and grocery stores. Mrs. Smith was still buying the ingredients for her pies from local grocery store and baking them in the kitchen with her white stone frame cottage on South Street, within her white stone and frame cottage on South Street. I wish I knew the address of that. Maybe Todd Bainbridge knows.
Yeah, and a picture of that wagon.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
The business grew, and then the following year, the Smiths took a small store in Pottstown and moved in a Crandall Petty, their first commercial baking oven. So that was the name of the baking oven that they bought. It was called a Crandall Petty. So they get an oven, they get a store, and then Amanda Smith goes into like a semi-retirement, and her cousin, also a woman, Anna C. Eimerbrink, took charge of the new company's pie production. In those days, commercial baking equipment was a far cry from today's modern facilities. They were still testing the oven temperature by throwing in handfuls of flour and watching to see how fast that flour browned, and that's how they knew the temperature of the oven. Long story short, they keep expanding, and eventually they're selling pies in Coatesville, Norristown, Phoenixville, and Reading. And they have a whole fleet of trucks. And every time they would buy a new truck, it meant that they opened up a new route. So as the trucks expanded, pie production expands.
Right.
They add more routes, more customers, and everything else. By 1930, the company was serving 47 routes, each with a panel truck purchased with a down payment of $300. Varieties then included fruit pies, fruit crumb pies, coconut custard, and lemon meringue. Now, I'll tell you this. I remember the Mrs. Smith's coconut custard pies.
Yeah.
Because my mom used to sell pies at the YWCA for a fundraiser, and they were Mrs. Smith's pies.
Oh.
I loved those coconut custard pies from Mrs. Smith's. They were really good. And the other ones that I remember being excellent were the apple pies were good too.
Right.
But the pumpkin pies.
Well, because you used to steal those pumpkins.
No, the pumpkins fell off the back of the truck. Right. I never stole anything. But yeah, I remember those coconut custard pies. They were excellent. We would actually buy a couple of them at a time and put them in the freezer to keep them.
They
and
still make them. Coconut custard pie.
I actually liked them a little bit still frozen. That's the way I used to eat them.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Not totally frozen, but just a little bit of frozenness in my coconut custard Mrs. Smith's pie. That was awesome. And I remember back in the day, and maybe somebody else who's listening remembers this too, that the Mrs. Smith's pies came in a yellow box.
Okay.
It was a yellow box with kind of reddish printing on it. I wonder if anybody else remembers those pie boxes. But anyway, they grow this business and grow this business and grow this business, and eventually the business is sold to I think it got sold to Kellogg's. This other thing. Yeah. In 1976, the Kellogg Company purchased Mrs. Smith's Pies for $56 million.
Wow.
Kellogg sold its bakery division to the J.M. Smucker Company in 1994 for $84 million. In May of 1996, after a deal to sell the unit to ConAgra fell through, Smucker sold it to Flowers Foods. In 2003, the brand was purchased by the Schwan Food Company. The Mrs. Smith's Pies plant in Pottstown served as a landmark and a significant employer for better part of the 20th century. Today, the plant is used to manufacture Mrs. Smith's pie tins.
Right. So
However,
that's the part that's still there. It's like Swan's.
Yeah,
tin.
there's some. Yeah, and there's some. They have some cold storage there that they do for the Schwan's frozen food
Right.
delivery, right?
Right.
But yeah, that all that's really left of it is the foil
division.
factory. Yeah. And it says here, and everybody knows this at this point. Maybe some people don't. However, the main pie plant was raised to make way for a residential development, and that would be the Hanover Square development there, where
Deb lives.
Deb and Lisa Vanny.
Lisa Vanny and Elizabeth DeVanny lives down there.
Yeah,
too.
Liz DeVinny lives there. Now, I'll tell you another thing, too, because there might be some people down at Southside Social listening. When I was a kid, that bar, which was called the Old Gold,
Of course.
that was the Mrs. Smith's Pie bar.
Yeah.
Because it was right
It was right there.
It was right there.
So it was practically on the campus.
And Mrs. Smith's Pies had 3 shifts.
So it was a third shift bar.
It was.
Right.
They would open up at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And you could go in there at any time of the day, and there'd be guys from Mrs. Smith's Pies either having lunch or having a beer or whatever else. One of my really good friends from high school, Dion Bender, worked at Mrs. Smith's Pies and worked there right up until they went out of business. And a lot of people
moved
in
their
Pottstown.
business, not went out of business.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That place got closed down, and he couldn't follow the job.
Right.
So, and then my buddy Tom Bartman, his dad was in plant facilities maintenance there. I mean, I knew if you lived in this neighborhood in the No Hanover, there was a lot of people who lived in this neighborhood that worked down there at Mrs. Smith's. Yeah. So that's our little history.
Started out selling pies for the lunch counter and sold for $84 million.
Right.
There you go. American dream. Built on pie.
And I went to high school with one of Amanda Smith's, I guess it would have been her great granddaughter, I think. Yeah. Great granddaughter.
Okay.
She went to Pius. Her name was Mandy.
Went to Pius.
Pius. I see what you did there. There's some people putting some stuff up in the chat.
Arguably the most famous woman in Pottstown, yeah?
I would say.
Behind Amy Wolf.
I mean, at one point in time, she had a huge factory with her name written all over the side of it.
Yeah.
You couldn't miss it.
No.
And when they were baking, you certainly smelled it. I mean, when they started firing up those pumpkin pies, you could smell those pumpkins all over the neighborhood. When they first started to cook them, it doesn't smell so good. But once they started baking them with the cinnamon and the nutmeg and all of that stuff, then, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But you could always, if you lived in this neighborhood long enough, you could tell what pies they were baking by the smell. I'm serious.
It's lemon day.
It's lemon day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be cooking apples.
Coconut day.
Yeah. And then you would see all that stuff coming into the factory. Huge trucks full of apples, huge trucks full of pumpkins.
Right.
They brought all the fruit in fresh.
Yeah.
They did everything right there. It was amazing.
Very cool.
And I got to watch it.
You got to watch
Front row seat.
Like, what a cool thing from childhood.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Smith, for the fond memories. All right. We'll bust through some news and whatnot. Hey, Jamie. Thanks for tuning in. Telling a story about the dented boxes of pies. Didn't buy a pie for years. I love it.
Well, that was the one thing, too, that I remember. Like my buddy Dion used to bring home a lot of pies. They used to make these little ones.
Oh, yeah.
And he would usually have some of those.
Like a little individual size
pie? Yeah.
I love it. All right, some news and events. PTK cleanup. This is the 3rd annual PTK Pottstown Community Cleanup on April 15th. Food and T-shirts available. It is from 11 to 3, meeting at 16 East High Street, which I believe is the college, right? Isn't
Yes.
PTK is like the honor society of the college?
It is. And that would be the old Nittany warehouse. That's 16
And the old
High
Kiwi
Street.
shoe polish.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's the North Hall of Montgomery County
That's
Community
what I
College
was looking
at
for.
Manatawny.
Yep.
Yep.
Right at the corner of High and Manatawny, across from America's Best Value.
Yeah.
Which, that name.
A little bit of a misnomer.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a value. I don't know. Whatever. So anyway, that is April 15th from 11 to 3, starting at Montgomery County Community College North Hall. Electronics recycling at, this is sponsored by Althouse Arboretum, but the recycling is at the Hillside Aquatic Center, Saturday, March 18th from 9 to 1. Asking for a small donation, and this is pretty much like everything with a cord. So computers, TVs, there is a little charge for TVs, but electronics recycling, go to althousearboretum.org for more details on what they will accept there. Household hazardous waste, Saturday, April 29th at Boyertown Middle School East. You do need to register, make an appointment, but it's super easy. You just drive up and they take the stuff out of your car. So the hazardous waste is paint thinners, that kind of stuff, varnishes, shellac, joint compounds, weed killers, swimming pool chemicals, grease solvents, fuel additives, all of that kind of stuff. They will take fluorescent tubes and CFLs. You cannot put those curly Q CFLs in your trash, people. You need to take fluorescent tubes. If you're a business person like me and you've got like 20 dead fluorescent tubes at a time, that is the place to take them.
But you know what I would prefer somebody do? If they don't do that, don't throw them in the woods.
No, please don't.
Just if you have to
There's like
break the
mercury and
rules,
stuff in there.
put them in the trash. Don't throw them in the woods.
No, because then that leaches. They break and it leaches into the soil.
And then we have to eat. We have to drink that.
Bad.
It goes
bad,
in the water.
Yeah.
In the water.
Yeah. Thursday, March 9th. Oh, that's today. So tonight is the comedy fundraiser at Soul Joel's. Hope some of you folks are going.
Soul Joel's.
Yep. This Saturday, Candlelight Ghost Tour at Britton Lodge. Sounds super fun from 8:30 to 10.
If you're into that kind of thing.
If you're into that kind of thing.
That place is supposed to be super haunted.
Now,
Bless you, Amy. One more time. And again.
Excuse me. But if you want to find your own ghost, you can go to the library and rent their paranormal ghost searching.
That's right.
Equipment.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So if you think your house is haunted, right?
Yeah.
Go check that out. Sheila Dugan. She's like convinced that her house is haunted. She should go rent some of that paranormal stuff at the library.
I think Sheila's haunted.
What's that?
I was just being mean. I said, I think Sheila's haunted.
All right. This was one I saw on your page, Matt. This is Genesis Housing Corporation Single System Property Rehab Program.
Yes.
So this is if you are an income eligible homeowner and occupy a single family residence located in Pottstown, you may be eligible for this. Household income must be less than the following, depending on your size of your family. So if it's one person in the family and you make $59,000 or less, then you are eligible. And those grants are available for property rehabs like a roof, heater, or plumbing.
Yes. Single system.
Yes.
So that's the system that they're talking about.
I got you. That's what that means. So you can go to genesishousing.org and find more information on that.
I'll find a link for you for Genesis.
That could really help some folks out. You need a new hot water heater? You need a new roof? This could really help. So check that out.
Well, I still have it. I still have it set to show me images.
Right.
But I'm going to get you the link to their website and put that up. I think where they're at is you have to be within 80% of the county's median income.
Right. Yeah, that's what it said.
Yeah.
80% median household income limits.
Right.
So that chart there on this graphic shows the limits.
Yeah. And then if you go onto their website, you can find out what those limits are.
Yeah.
Or you could just go to the county website and search median income.
a family of 4 making $84,000 or less, which is probably a considerable number of people here in
That's a
Pottstown.
pretty good chunk of Pottstown.
Yeah. We could be eligible for this.
Correct.
Could be really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
don't leave that money on the table, folks.
No, don't do it. I was talking to another one of our woman community leaders the other day. That would be Tamara Charles from Pottstown Community Action.
Yep.
They're bringing back the Love Your Block program. They did hand out some grants last year. They would like to give more grants this year. What they need in order to give more grants is help from skilled labor and contractors.
Okay.
So if they have some people, let's say, who own a business called Adele Home Services, they're looking to team up with local contractors who can take on some more skilled jobs.
Got it.
Now, the contractor will get paid. You'll get money for your work,
right? But
it might not be
market rate.
Yeah. You'll get something. But if they can
you will also get the pride of having helped your community.
Yes. Imagine taking a picture with your work van in front of some nice family that you just helped.
Exactly.
That's going to boost your cred a little bit within the community. But yeah, if anybody who's within the sound of my voice is a skilled contractor, get in touch with Tamara Charles over at Pottstown Community Action. They're looking to team up with skilled contractors so that they can give out more grants this year.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Okay, Saturday, April 22nd, Anne Francis Outreach Walkathon for Affordable Housing. That is register by April 15th at annefrancis.org, FRANCES.org, annefrancis.org.
That's one of our good listeners, the Horvats.
Yes. Yep.
And they were also affected by that fire over there in East Coventry.
Oh, right.
Josh Park, I saw him the other night. He thanks us for giving him the shout out. If you want to participate in helping the victims from the fire in East Coventry, you should contact the folks over at Branch Life Church in Pewtown, and I'll put a link.
And you can absolutely know that any donation that you give is going to go to the right place. 110% trustworthy.
He must have watched the show because
he made some comments on last week's show.
And I would say this, if he's listening again tonight, dude, we need to connect. I thought I sent him a text message.
Oh, maybe you sent it to some other random person.
It might be some other rando. Josh, if you can hear me, connect with me, man. I want to buy you some coffee. I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about.
I do have his number if you...
I'll track him down.
Okay.
But after the show, I'll gladly take that because I do need to talk to him. Good dude.
I'll share. Yeah, super good dude. I will share it with you right now. Share contact with. I always forget how. Like, do I have you in my phone as Matt? Do I have you in as Rufus?
As Rufus.
Yeah. All right. Diabetes education series presented by the Pottstown Hospital Tower Health. Third Wednesday of each month, different diabetes education topic. So you need to register. Go to pottstown.towerhealth.org /classes-events.
So that flyer, I tried to share that flyer and find links for it. It's like impossible to find. So if you want to find out what Tower Health is doing, I guess you can go to their website and find more information about that. I'm a pretty skilled searcher, and I had difficulty finding that stuff.
Here it is right here.
So did you found it right away?
Well, because I have the link.
Oh, you have the link.
I have the link.
Put that up in the comment box.
I did. I just read the link here on this flyer. Also, another Tower Health initiative is the mobile mammography, which is going to be at the Pottstown Cluster of Religious Communities on Monday, March 20th. You do need to make an appointment. So that should also be under the same link. Or I don't know if it's going to be under class.
So I'm on the community outreach committee for the Pottstown Cluster of Religious Communities, amongst other things that I'm doing over there. Anybody that wants to come help me, please, I need it. That is not being well responded to. We need more of you ladies to come out and get your tatas scanned.
For sure. Super important.
So go to PCRC, Pottstown Cluster of Religious Communities, and look for the registration for the mammography event. Guess how much they're going to charge you to get your tata scanned?
Zero.
It's free.
Most insurance is going to cover a routine screening mammogram. Like that's like it's like a colonoscopy or an annual physical. They're always covered. But whether you've got private insurance or if you've got state insurance or you've got Medicare or Medicaid, I'm sure that's all going to be all squared away.
I'm going to put a link up to their website in general.
Okay.
The other thing that I would like to say about Pottstown Cluster of Religious Communities, it is where the trash team and the resource team is living these days.
Right.
And the trash team did some amazing work to help clean up some abandoned homeless encampments.
Yep.
Our next project is to help Potts Grove, Pottstown Little League get their ball fields reopened.
Right. Yep.
The ball fields have been damaged by flooding. There were some homeless encampments down there and vandalism, unfortunately.
Right.
So we're going to spring into action and help get baseball back at Novak and Grimm Field. That's going to be March 25th.
It's been a little while since there's been baseball down there, right?
3 years.
Yeah.
March 25th from 8 to noon. Please come out and help us. If you can't work, we do have some jobs that don't require physical labor.
Right.
And you can always make a donation.
Always make a donation.
If you go to the Pottstown Cluster of Religious Communities website, in addition to signing up for your Tata scan, you can make a donation to the trash team.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, Jamie, who works in healthcare, says base mammograms are covered 100% by all insurances. Yep. Yeah, it's when you need a diagnostic. I just went through that same thing myself. Oh, diagnostic mammograms not covered. Routine base mammograms covered. Indian Springs Day Camp. Where is this, Matt? Chester Springs.
Mm-hmm.
So they are looking for summer jobs or for people to work at day camp during the summer.
Yeah, they're looking for high school students, specifically older high school students.
Yep. So senior counselors for boys must be a high school graduate.
There you go.
Junior counselors, students entering 10th through 12th grade, male and female, and some specialist counselor positions are needed. They also hire teachers that are looking for a summer job. If you are a teacher and you have children, your kids can go to camp for free while you're working there. So IndianSpringsDayCamp.com. IndianSpringsDayCamp.com.
I just put that up because I know that very shortly kids are going to be coming home from college.
Yep.
And moms and dads are going to be looking for ways to keep their home from college kids busy.
Yep. Sure.
And maybe somebody wants to go down there, or maybe some teacher who listens to the show is looking for a little side hustle.
Yeah. There you go.
Might be a pleasant place to work.
A Pottsgrove job fair. This is next Tuesday, the 14th, at Lower Pottsgrove Elementary School. And these are jobs that are available in the school district. Student assistants, part-time nurse, part-time duty aides, maintenance and custodial, teachers, nurse, speech pathologist. All of those are available. So job fair at Lower Pottsgrove Elementary School from 3:30 to 5:30 on Tuesday, March 14th.
They have a pretty long list of jobs available there, and it covers the gamut of things. It's not just teaching jobs. They obviously, you do have to have a degree for some of the jobs that they have.
Yeah, and you got to be able to pass a clearance too.
Right, but they also have just some skilled labor jobs that don't require a college degree.
Right.
So if you know somebody that's looking for a job, school districts hiring. Now, the one thing about school districts are the benefits are usually pretty solid.
Right.
You might not make the most money around,
right,
but your benefits and your retirement usually pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So weigh all that out when you're considering your options.
Yep.
Kiwanis Club of Pottstown, 4th annual designer bag bingo. Again, I don't know what it is. I don't get it, but people love this, John.
They do.
This is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Bingo starts at 7, and it is being held at the Norco Fire Company Hall down there in the 5. So this supports Kiwanis, and they do all sorts of good community service projects throughout the area. Our friend Larry Gribb across the street is involved heavily in the Kiwanis.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I got that flyer off of his Facebook page.
He's such a nice guy. He's super nice. So yeah, check that out. Something to do tomorrow. And then Glocker is having their Easter egg hunt
Yeah.
April 1st at the Hickory Park Pool, which is up at 73 and
663.
663.
It's where the Hickory Park Diner used to
used
be.
to be.
Yeah, they tore it down. It was kind of sad to see that go.
Yeah.
My friend Phil Noonan's family owned that diner.
Okay.
And I have a lot of fond memories of that diner. And that's sad to see. But that's the same place. And it's where the new Hanover Community Pool is.
Okay.
There was a pool back there that belonged to the trailer park that was back there for a while.
Okay.
The new Hanover Township bought that whole property and then fixed up the pool. Nice. And now that's the new Hanover Community Pool.
Wow.
Our Easter egg hunt is literally right behind the pool.
Cool.
And we do not have a lot of people signed up for that.
How much does it cost, Matt?
Free.
Free.
Go to glocker.com or go to our Facebook page. I'm going to put a link to our Facebook page.
5,000 eggs.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Real eggs?
No, it's like the plastic
eggs with
ones
little doodads in them?
Candy and stuff.
Right.
And we have it broken out into different age groups so your little kid won't get,
5,000?
steamrolled by some teenagers.
Right.
We
5,000?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's crazy.
That's a lot of eggs.
And the ladies in my office spend days stuffing those eggs.
I cannot even imagine what 5,000 eggs looks like in big giant bags.
Oh,
right?
They come in totes. We have to keep them in these plastic totes, and then we have to get the candy and the goods to stuff all these things.
Right.
Oh, it's a whole process.
It's a whole production.
Last year, our entire office smelled like chocolate for days while they were stuffing these eggs.
That's not so bad.
So in between selling real estate and insurance, the ladies in the office are just stuffing eggs
for your child's delight.
Yeah. And we don't really have a lot of people signed up for that. So if you want to get into something that is a little bit low impact on your kid, because a lot of kids don't do well in the big Easter egg hunts.
Okay.
Maybe give Glockers a try.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last year we were mobbed, but this year it seems like we have a little bit less people.
Okay.
So maybe if you're looking for a little bit more laid back scene, try ours.
All right. I'll plop that event in the comments there.
Yeah.
So. All right, cool. That's it, man.
All right. And now, what do I have to say usually at the end of the show? Oh, it's this message. If you have questions, comments, or critique, please email us at pottstownreports@gmail.com. pottstownreports@gmail.com is where you can send your questions, comments, and critique about Porchcast Pottstown.
Oh, that's a bad.
This is a collaborative effort between us and the folks over at Eye on Pottstown, Jamie Sanchez being one of those folks. They keep an eye on things that are happening and occurring and some of the community chatter. Yes. They keep an eye on what people are talking about. And when there's really hot topics like trash or crime or things of this nature, they let us know. And then we have a show about it.
Right. Funny how that works.
It is. And if you want to come on the show, if you have a business or you're a concerned citizen or you just want to talk about the great things that you're doing here in the borough of Pottstown, email us. pottstownreports@gmail.com. Questions, comments, critique, or if you want to come on the show.
Yeah, Matt, we got to get the camera figured out before next week because we got a guest.
Yeah, so I'm going to spend some time tomorrow and then over the weekend. Tomorrow is a little bit of a busy day for me. I'm in and out of the office. I have a couple of meetings. I have to go down to Spring City for a meeting. I'll try. And then over the weekend, maybe I could set it up and try to troubleshoot the camera. I know it's not a software problem now. So it's got to be a hardware issue.
Okay.
Cable or there's something wrong with the camera. If there's something wrong with the camera, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we'll just go back to being a podcast. I don't know.
Maybe hook up that
a GoPro.
Hook up the phone.
I think Adam has a GoPro. Might be able to hook up a GoPro if this camera's not working right. If it is something wrong with this camera, right. I could try a GoPro.
All right. Well, hopefully that's not the issue.
I hope that's not the issue because that camera's not cheap.
I know.
All right. My name is Matt Green. I am your local real estate expert. I enjoy selling and buying residential and commercial real estate with my clients. If you need somebody who knows this neighborhood like the back of their hand, you should call Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate. I am your local real estate professional. Amy Wolf is the office manager over at Wolf Baldwin Associates, bringing you fine legal service in the borough of Pottstown since 1973. If you do the Porchcast math on that, that's 50 years.
It sure is.
Levi Wolf is your workman's compensation specialist. He's certified by the courts of Pennsylvania. Why would you go to anyone else?
Why would you?
You know how much you have to pay Levi Wolf for a consultation? $0. It's free. Even if you think that your workman's compensation case is going just peachy, maybe not. There's something that you
got to
might
get a
not
review.
know.
They always calculate that average weekly wage wrong.
If you want to get Levi Wolf to review your case, guess how much that costs?
$0. You know what's something interesting, Matt?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you say that you're working two jobs, like you've got your full-time job, and then you've got your part-time job, and you get hurt on your part-time job, and so you can't work at your full-time job, that needs to be calculated.
Oh, that needs to be calculated.
That needs to be calculated because you're now not able to make your wage at your other job.
You're not able to make your ends meet.
You're right. And so a lot of people don't know that.
Huh.
Right?
I didn't know that until just now.
You cannot be fired if you make a workers' comp claim. If you are fired, that is what's called a wrongful termination. So you cannot, the company cannot retaliate against you for making a claim.
Because you got hurt.
Because you got hurt on the job. So
interesting.
If that's happening to you or somebody that you know,
call
you got to know what your rights are. You absolutely got to know.
And
so
you'll get a free consultation.
A lot of nuance in there that people, they don't know what they don't know.
And Levi doesn't get paid till you get paid.
Correct.
So he's got an incentive to get you paid.
Yeah. Well, and also because he just does the right thing. Yeah.
All right, folks. We are Porchcast. Let's talk soon.
Bye-bye.